if the world wasn't terrible already, I have some devastating news to deliver for you guys. Syphilis may become uncurable. Now, there are two relatively common types of syphilis, which is Nichols and street strain 14. Street strain 14 sounds kind of like a street gang, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, and Swiss researchers discovered that the most frequent type of STI is street strain 14's omega strain. And unfortunately for us, that strain is becoming more and more resistant to antibiotics. Now, back in the day, syphilis would kill you.
Yes, I did.
But now it's so easy to get it cured with just a regular old penicillin shot. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of knowledge over this subject, not from personal experience, but because I read upon it like a hypochondriac. I wanted to specify that. So, and now, alarmingly, 90% of the SS14 omega samples that were analyzed are becoming resistant to antibiotics. What that means is that syphilis may start killing people again, basically. And the bacterial infection has shot up 71% in England since 2011.
What?
Yeah. The Brits, man, they're like...
And how are they explaining the cause of this?
Oh, it's just like any other bacteria. It just mutates throughout time.
So it is mutated to combat against just
the
penicillin.
Antibiotics.
Okay.
Yeah. So think about it this way: like it's almost like natural selection, right? There's like this common thing that people say where it's like every spider you kill, you're making spiders in general smarter because like you're killing the stupid one because it allowed itself to be killed. Therefore, the rest of the spiders that will populate the spider kingdom will be smarter because of it. Because they're smarter spiders that could avoid you.
I had never heard that before, but
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
It
I'm
does.
creeped
It's
out.
the same concept with this bacteria where it's
I
like...
know that there are spiders hiding in my apartment. I know that.
Yeah, and they're probably really smart if you haven't seen them at all.
I haven't seen them. I've
Okay.
seen some dead ones by my window.
Okay, think about it this then. Think about this. You eat like, I think, what is it, like 13 spiders a year when you're sleeping?
Not me.
Yeah.
I sleep next to a pit bull. He
Doesn't
eats
matter.
them. He
Doesn't matter. I
takes
sleep
my
next to
half.
a pit bull too, but okay, then you're eating at least 6. How
Good.
about that?
Better.
How does that make you feel?
Fine.
All right, going back to syphilis, let's talk about this. Does this terrify you at all?
No, but I do. It's no. But I do
that.
think it is very. I think it's really interesting to learn about how how it's mutated over time. I think that's really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how our science adapts to combat the mutation.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And this is not just for syphilis. A lot of bacterial infections are this way when, like MRSA is another one where if you get infected, it's becoming harder and harder to treat it because these bacteria keep evolving, and then we see these super strains that get together. Like you see instances like the avian flu or swine flu, and when it comes back, it's more powerful than ever, especially if it transmits from an animal to a human. That's when it's super devastating. But let's talk about how syphilis transmits, right? So in very rare cases, it can actually spread through prolonged kissing. As well as some common rules of, transmission, which is vaginal, anal, and oral sex.
Cute.
Yeah. And sufferers will develop sores, and they can often go...
Okay, so it is an outward...
Some of it is... a lot of these STIs, especially like genital ones, with the exception of herpes, and even then, are asymptomatic. So that's why they're actually really dangerous, because you don't know that's why you always have to get tested. And I try to tell this to all my friends all the fucking time. It's not just about protecting yourself by using a condom. You also have to get tested frequently because they are relatively easy to treat right now. Syphilis, gonorrhea, all these other things are relatively easy to treat except for the two big ones, AIDS and herpes. And if you don't know that you have it, it could actually rot your brain.
Okay, so this is a really good thing to talk about. What is the recommendation for how often someone should get tested if they're just with a normal, let's just say a standard sexual appetite?
I don't know what that means because my range is a little wonky. But if you're in a relationship and it's monogamous and you know that it's monogamous and you and your partner are just having sex with one another, then obviously, it's still good to get tested every now and then just to see if your partner's cheating on you or whatever. But No, but for
Just
the
for a
most
healthy
part-
dose of paranoia in your relationship.
Yeah, but just like
get tested
no,
and
but
leave
if
that
you're-
test out there.
If
Make
you're
them ask
single
questions.
and you're dating multiple people, you should be getting tested probably like twice, like
year?
once every 2 months.
Once every 2 months? Okay, so Janelle is saying in the back it's once every 6 months for a healthy single person having.
For me, it's once every weekend. Oh, also, don't immediately get tested right after you have unprotected sex because some of this stuff takes time to, Well, some take 3 to 6 months, but some of them only take weeks to develop in your body.
So Hasan, another question for you. So, is there a stigma around getting tested, do you feel?
100%. And I'm always very public about it whenever I get tested, and I'll get like at least 12 text messages like, what the fuck, do you have something? It's like, no, I get tested because I'm fucking not an idiot. Like, I want to know if I have something.
Yeah.
And I want others to know if I have something.
I think it's good that you talk openly about it because I think I'm now racking my brain. I think you are my only friend that I know of that has gotten tested not because they were concerned about something, but just as sort of an upkeep of their health.
Yeah, I do it frequently, and I'll usually post about it. I used to go to Planned Parenthood and get tested when I didn't have insurance, and I definitely didn't lie about having insurance at Planned Parenthood because that's insurance fraud. But if you were to do that, they charge you only $15. But if you don't do that, they charge you $200. And I don't know, that's just a little tidbit there. So it's just, it's good to get tested frequently. There's different stages, by the way, of the infection for syphilis. We can talk about that really quickly. Small painless sores in the genitals or mouth area is stage 1. Usually appears 10 to 90 days after the exposure, and they disappear within 6 weeks.
10 to 90 days?
Yeah.
That is a huge gap of time.
They don't really leave a scar either. I know, that's the worst part is it's just so uncertain.
Some people might know after 10 days and some people might know after 90.
Yeah, and then stage
Whoa.
2 is you get rosy rash on the palms, on the hands, and soles of the feet, moist warts in the groin, white patches inside the mouth, swollen glands, fever, weight loss, and this all fades away before stage 3. And it becomes latent syphilis is just dormant, and there's no symptoms. And stage 3, which is the terrifying stage, where if you don't get tested and don't know that you have syphilis and you've allowed it to go to stage 3, you can get paralysis, dementia, and blindness.
Wow.
Now, Al Capone went crazy because of syphilis. He had syphilis that went untreated, and even though he was a criminal mastermind to a lot of people, he just went batshit psycho nuts because he just didn't treat his syphilis. So, yeah, you can develop dementia from it. So that's why it's so terrifying, and that's why definitely get treated, especially right now when it's still treatable, because it might not be in the future. And definitely practice safe sex. I say this as someone who sometimes doesn't. So definitely
do that. Safe sex
is great sex. Not really. But just be in a monogamous relationship if you want to do that.
I'm going to assault you as soon as we say, hey, please subscribe to Pop Trigger and don't forget to check out the latest Murder with Friends. We'll see you next time.